All right, guys, how's it going? So I've been to the cafe this morning and I have reviewed today's Spanish football dailies for you. Nothing really exciting in them. However, Mundo Deportivo, which is a pro-Barcelona newspaper, is suggesting that Luis Díaz is still on Barcelona's radar because of complications they've hit with Nico Williams. Now, Nico Williams suddenly became Barca's first choice ahead of Luis Díaz. But obviously, Barcelona have these financial problems to do with financial fair play, and not only that, if they pay the release clause to get Athletic to release Nico Williams, there's no guarantees that they can register the player. So the latest from Spain is that Nico Williams is wanting guarantees over that. In other words, I don't want to repeat the Dani Olmo situation where they sign a player, can't register him, etc. And Barcelona are basically saying, shut your trap. We're going to pay for you. We'll sort it out. But Nico Williams doesn't want it. So Mundo Deportivo, they had an article this morning which was headlined, Luis Díaz still not ruled out. While Nico isn't signed, the red remains on Barca's agenda. And it goes on to say that Barcelona remain firmly committed to signing a left winger. The first choice for months, as you guys know, has been Luis Díaz, 28, the Liverpool forward. However, the offer of Nico Williams, 22, via his agent, which he stepped up recently, the agent, if you like, caused the Catalan club to shift their focus to the Athletic Bilbao attacker due to the age difference between the two. The fact that Nico is 6 years younger gives Barca better long-term prospects. But in terms of, both in terms of potentially recovering the investment in a future sale, and because due to his release clause, the club wouldn't need to negotiate with Athletic, whereas Liverpool wouldn't move from that €80 million valuation. They would simply need to pay the amount to secure his freedom. However, the Nico deal has stalled in recent days due to the guarantees of registration being demanded by the player's agent. These guarantees would need to be included in the final contract after a verbal agreement was reached last week regarding contract length and salary. And then it goes on to say that Barca are still keeping Luis Díaz on their radar. He was originally Deco's first option to reinforce the squad. Although older, the Colombian is more versatile. He can also play as a number 9 and has more experience at the highest level. While his age is a disadvantage, he has played significantly more top-level games than the Athletic winger. The main issue with Liverpool is that they have refused to open the door for negotiations with Barca. Moreover, the Colombian's agent has not managed to apply enough pressure to get the Reds to agree to talks with the Spanish side, even though Barca have long had the player under control, it says, and know that he wants to join them. In any case, Deco has never given up on the Díaz option, well aware from his experience in the market that no deal is done until the contract is signed or the release clause paid. So no one at Barca is celebrating just yet. I would be very surprised if Nico Williams doesn't get that move to Barca. But, Luis Díaz must be watching this, guys, and praying, because obviously it's been his dream move for well over a year. And he has been under the control of Barca, if you like. But for whatever reasons, he hasn't really put Liverpool under pressure, demanded to be allowed to go there, demand that they reduce the fee. You may recall Luis Díaz spoke at an international, when he was on international duty, I think it was a press conference, saying, I'm speaking to clubs. And the Barcelona media took that as here he is, he's starting to put pressure on Liverpool. He then came out, let me rephrase that. The Barcelona media, both Sport and Mundo Deportivo, then reported that Luis Díaz had a verbal agreement. He believes he's got a verbal agreement with Liverpool for them to release him to Barcelona if they came knocking for much lower than the €80 million valuation that Liverpool have slapped on him. And I can't remember, that figure was €60 million, right? But Liverpool basically, you ain't got no agreement with us. That was that agreement with Boy George, George Schmacker before, and Edwards and Hughes have said, we fucking agreed nothing with us. €80 million, forget it. I think that was obviously a ploy by Liverpool. I think they would have come down because the negotiation process was really just underway, I feel. But then Nico Williams' agent stepped in, because Díaz wasn't getting anywhere. And his agent steps in, says, hey, look, my client's desperate to play for you. They tried to sign him, I don't know if they tried to sign him last year. I know that the player was involved in discussions with them last year, but it fell through, it just didn't happen. And it's kind of like a similar situation now. This time, though, the agent was saying, hey, my client wants to play for you. He'll take, much lower salary. He's desperate to go there. He's friends with, Yamal and people like that. And the dressing room at Barcelona seemed to want him. So Barcelona suddenly went, you know what? Yeah, let's do this. He's younger. We can get him on a cheap salary. Williams would get more money if he renewed at Athletic. But it all seemed very attractive to Barcelona. But the situation now, and some of you may have seen this in the last couple of days, is that Williams is saying, look, yeah, I want to come to you, but it's no good if you can't register me, kind of thing. So there's something brewing there. There's a bit of drama going on. Athletic are not going to do anything to help Barcelona, as you know. Relations between those two clubs are strained. But if Barca pay the release fee in one go, there's nothing Athletic can do. But then, if the player can't be registered, he can't play. So it's going to be interesting what happens with this one. I think Barcelona's financial situation, is reviewed around now. I think I remember saying the end of June, and I thought that Luis Díaz would maybe secure his transfer to Barcelona during the first couple of weeks. But what let's just say that the Williams deal falls through, and then Barcelona can then agree a fee with Liverpool. What happens to Díaz then? Will he be like, well, what if you can't register me? Or is he going to be more patient because it's his dream move? Because no doubt there would be a solution at some point. The reason that this is interesting or important, I feel, is that for months I've said that I felt that Liverpool were looking at using the money from the Núñez sale and the Díaz sale to Barcelona, because I don't think they were trying to just get rid of him. They just felt he wanted to go there and it would happen. And I think they were going to use that money to purchase a significant investment or investor, in another significant deal or player or whatever. So, and some people said, yeah, but don't worry, we're selling this player, that player, we've got the money, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, but I still think Liverpool thought they were going to have another 50 or 60 million pounds. Now, if you're going for a striker like Cesco or something like that, and you're thinking, God, this is expensive, another 50 or 60, and maybe we could do a deal for Isak, that's where it becomes important. So, I'd be surprised if Luis Díaz now got that move to Barcelona, but you never know in football. But Bayern Munich are sniffing around him. The relationship could now be difficult with Liverpool if he feels that Liverpool have blocked his dream move. Because if Liverpool had negotiated and said, yeah, you can go for 60 million euros, that deal would have been done, I think. So, and we saw the comments, didn't we? We've seen comments that came from that Ford Sierra bloke. Do you remember? That journalist saying that Díaz is very angry with Liverpool. Actually, let me rephrase that. Angry with Liverpool. Didn't say very. Angry with Liverpool, demanding improved terms or demanding to be sold. So maybe Liverpool still will sell him, but I don't think Liverpool are in any major rush to sell him to anyone. I just think they expected to sell him to Barcelona in the summer. Anyway, it's kicking off. Listen out for the Nico Williams and Barcelona stuff, because that situation does affect things. Now, if you follow my updates, you know that Díaz and Barca has been towards the end of the season in the papers every day, every other day. And then all of a sudden it stopped when Nico Williams' agent stepped in, right? Now, he's back in the papers again with them saying in here, in Mundo Deportivo, that, Díaz is still an option. But is that Barcelona putting pressure, on Nico Williams saying, hey, don't fuck with us because we'll just go for Díaz. So it's part of the game. It'll be interesting to see how it pans out. If you're hoping that Liverpool are going to spend big on a striker, then you might want to see Díaz sold. I'm sure many of you would rather someone else was sold, like Jota, because Díaz is playing the best football of his career. He's at the prime age for it now. He's on a very low salary, so Liverpool will be like, well, we'll just keep you for a couple of years then, because if they went and signed someone else, maybe that player wants an extra 100 grand a week than Luis Díaz does, So one to watch, guys, I think. Just keep an eye on it. All right. All right, I'm going to go. I haven't done my morning briefing yet. I'll be doing that on my other channel shortly, my Duncan Oldham channel. The link is in the video description to that channel. And there'll be a logo pop up on the screen as well. If you click on my mush, it'll take you over there. There'll be no live streams today. I'm out today. I'm going to an all-day barbecue. Just a good day, really. A few beers and stuff like that. All right, guys, I'll leave it with you. If you enjoyed the video, please thumbs up the video. Please drop me a comment with this. How do you see it going? And you know the drill. If you want to buy me a coffee or a beer, there's a love out under the video. And it's called a super thanks button. It's called basically thanks. And I always give a shout out to people that do that the next day in my morning briefings. If you don't see that, there's links in the video description, or you can support my channel. All right, guys, but a comment will do for me. Okay, I'll speak to you soon.